So this is not general diary entry. What is?
That is what DD is. That's
Not
what
somebody has lost the
that's
life.
according to the
Don't
rules.
at least laugh.
1 second. According
at
to
least
rules
laugh.
that we follow,
A girl has
these
lost
regulations
her
we've done
life
in accordance.
in a most inhuman
That's
and
not-
undignified manners.
Viewers, what you just heard was a reminder of the callousness and impunity that has come to define the Mamata Banerjee government's handling of a heinous crime that has shaken the conscience of entire nation. As Solicitor General Tushar Mehta passionately pleaded for justice, his words cut through the din of politics. Don't laugh, Mr. Sibal. This is not a case to laugh. A young girl has been killed in the most indignified manner. This is not mudding the water, but we are trying to remove the mud from the water, quote unquote. Viewers, these words were a scathing indictment of the state government's attempt to trivialize and obfuscate the truth. The fact that the former principal of RG2R Hospital, Sandeep Ghosh, who is under scrutiny, enjoys OSD status, Officer on Special Duty status, from the state government is a glaring example of patronage and impunity. But viewers, what's even more shocking is CBI's status report in the case that was submitted in the top court that has called out the lapses by the state government in handling, or you can call it the mishandling of the case. The CBI has claimed that the crime scene and evidence were tampered with and listed fundamental as also procedural lapses to allege a cover-up attempt by the state government. If true, this is a damning indictment of the state's complicity in crime.
One thing, therefore, which is very clear is that the cordoning off and the preservation of the crime scene takes place after the post-mortem report is conducted. This is what the GD entry itself says.
Mr. Sibal,
Yeah.
just tell us from your record at what time the postmortem was performed.
6:10 to 7:10 p.m.
In the evening,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
When you are taking the dead body
Yes.
for the purpose of performing postmortem,
Yes.
is it a case of unnatural death or not? If it is not a case of unnatural death, why do you have to perform the postmortem?
We categorically reaffirm that peaceful protests
Yes.
shall not be disturbed, nor shall peaceful protest shall not be disturbed or disrupted, and the state shall not take any action against those who are protesting against who are peacefully protesting
That's correct.
against the incident which took place at Rajikot Medical College.
Viewers, well, that was about the alleged Botch-Up. Here's the blame game and deflection. Mamata Banerjee's letter to Prime Minister Modi urging him to ensure justice for Betis rings hollow. It is a brazen attempt to deflect attention from our own government's failures and inaction. The people demand justice, not empty words. Viewers, the Kolkata rape case is a heart-wrenching reminder of the systemic failures and the political apathy that has consumed our society. The Supreme Court's intervention is a glimmer of hope, but the fight for justice is far from over.
So this is not general diary entry. What is?
That is what DD is. That's
Not
what
somebody has lost the
That's
life.
according to the
Don't
rules.
at least laugh.
1 second. According
at
to
least
rules
laugh.
that we follow,
A girl has
these
lost
regulations
her
we've
life
done in accordance.
in a most inhuman
That's
and
not-
undignified manners.
There's more to it because this case and the quest for justice in this case has become a joke, which is why we are saying this is not a laughing matter. There are lapses too many and many unanswered questions. Let's open this up. Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Manas Ranjan Bhunia, Minister in charge, Department of Water Resources, Investigation, Development and Department of Irrigation and Waterways, Government of West Bengal. Karan Verma, author, analyst. Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Sanjay Jha, political analyst. Let's begin with the minister here. Manas Ranjan Bhunia, sir, good evening. Thank you for speaking to Times Now, first of all, sir. What do you make of what happened in the Supreme Court today?
Look, I cannot give any comment on the version and dictate of the Honorable Supreme Court headed by Honorable Chief Justice Chandrachud ji. I have heard also, like you, and all the lawyers who took part in the proceedings and procedural participation to defend the case or in favor of the case, they also heard Honorable Chief Justice and other justice raised some points which they have thought fit to ask. And the state lawyer, Mr. Sibal, tried to reply point-wise. Till time Supreme Court did not come to the conclusive decision or verdict, what is the direction to the state, what is the direction to CBI, what is the direction to the state government, and what is the direction to the agency CBI, which is investigating the entire matter and submitted a preliminary report to the Honorable Supreme Court today. If you study the chronological incidents starting from 9th August right up to 22nd August, today, our Chief Minister, Madam Mamata Banerjee, did not hesitate to take action against the identified criminal. The police commissioner, Mr. Vinit Goyal, arrested on the second day the identified criminal Sanjay Rai, and the case was started. Honorable Chief Minister, Madam Mamata Banerjee, declared she has no obstruction to declare. If anyone wants other than police inquiry, she is free to declare. She has no hesitation to obstruct any procedural investigation by any other organization or agency. CBI took the responsibility to investigate by the order of the Honorable Calcutta High Court. On 20th August, Honorable Supreme Court took up this case suo motu and gave specific direction to form the task force to review the situation and to suggest and requested the state government not to interfere in the peaceful demonstration or to take any punitive action, and at the same time Honorable Supreme Court requested all the agitating doctors to come to work. Today's proceedings of hearing and the comment of the Honorable Justice, including Chief Justice, is on. Let us wait for the conclusive verdict and dictate
Mr.
of the Honorable
Bhunia,
Supreme
while you
Court.
wait for the
Then we can
conclusive
comment.
verdict of the Supreme Court, let me remind you of the many things said by TMC leaders, including ministers. I am sure you know of some of the comments like, if you say anything against the state, we will break your finger, so on, so forth. But today, there is a comment by your leader who's saying that doctors are not protesting. What they are doing is blackmail. I want to play out that reaction and then I will come to you for a response. Let's listen to the TMC leader.
Doctors cannot, blackmail the common people. Their solemn duty is to give medical service to the poor and common people. Do you have any right to deny medical services to these common people, the taxpayers? On what right you are doing this thing? And Supreme Court has put the same question and requested that this is not the thing to show your protest.
Now, Mr. Bhunia, while the TMC leader is saying that it is the duty of the doctors to ensure medical service to the people, I entirely agree. But how can you call a justice campaign blackmail? And is the state not duty bound to give security to the doctors or ordinary citizens of the state?
Listen. My observation and my analytical comment is the comment of the Honorable Chief Minister is the last word to us and to the agitating doctors and administration. My Chief Minister and our leader Abhishek Banerjee and Madam Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee today even issued a letter to Honorable Prime Minister. There should be a stringent law. We will support to curb down the incidents of rape and murder on the women, torture on women. 90 cases is observed per day in India. She demanded to the Honorable Prime Minister to bring a stringent law.
I have the letter. I'm glad we are talking about it, Mr. Bunia. Just, I beg your indulgence, sir. I want to read the letter written by Mamata Banerjee to Prime Minister Modi.
Listen, let me finish.
No.
Let me finish. No, please let me finish. Doctors are requested to come to work to bring the tranquility, calm, a peaceful atmosphere. It is a request and appeal. And Honorable Supreme Court also pointed out with its dictate, please doctors should resume work. Resume work. CBI inquiry is on. It is not at the hands of the state government. And Supreme Court is watching every minute. High Court is also watching every minute. Even all these situations, after all these situations...
Now, Mr. Bunia, you are being selective, and I'll tell you why. You are being selective, Mamata Banerjee is being selective, here's why. Listen to this. Mamata Banerjee in a letter is saying, 90 cases of rape occur daily. What is Bengal's record, do you know, sir? 1,112 cases of rape in 2022 as compared to 980 in 2016. The NCRB data. Mamata says, rape cases increasing shakes the conscience and confidence of society and nation. How has the TMC shamed the rape victim? Do you know that? The comments made by your leader, the Chief Minister and other leaders of the TMC, Mamata says, ensure quick justice. Trial should preferably end in 15 days. The fact is, Mr. Bunia, that the state police delayed even filing of the FIR. The CGI has noted a 14-hour delay. Mamata Banerjee says, request PM to introduce central legislation to combat increasing rape cases. Now, the Calcutta High Court transferred several cases, including the 2021 post-poll violence case, the Boktoi massacre case in Birbhum, even the investigation of the RG Kar rape and murder. This is a big sign of no confidence in the state government. Mamata Banerjee says in a letter, suggests setting... One minute. I am reading from the letter. Mamata Banerjee is saying, suggests setting up a fast-track court and prescribing exemplary punishment against the persons involved. And what has the state been doing? You have reinstated Sandeep Ghosh, the former principal of the RG Tar, who still enjoys OSD status. What is the special relationship with Sandeep Ghosh?
Look, this is my presentation is the case is entirely handed over to CBI and it is a matter to be judged by the High Court and Supreme Court. Honorable Chief Minister wanted to show the people of Bengal and India, wait up to Sunday. But in the meantime, she said, if anyone wants, it can be handed over to any agency. In the meantime, by the verdict of the Calcutta High Court, it has been taken over by CBI. At this point of investigation time and observation of Supreme Court, we should not talk anything and we should not go for any debate.
We should not go for any debate. Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP, are you convinced with what the minister just said, Mr. Bunia's argument?
Well, I would not speak about the letter. I would not comment on whatever Mr. Bunia said, but what I actually understand from the conversation and the comments made from the TMC, that they are really thick-skinned, inhuman psychopaths who just know how to lick the slipper of Mamata Banerjee. For them, the only women who holds respect in West Bengal is Mamata Banerjee. Apart from that, they think that no other woman holds any kind of respect. That's the reason that their advocate was, laughing. I don't know what was the joke which was cracked and how inhuman he could have been in the court that he laughed that way. I really do not understand, and I fail to understand what an obnoxious body language he was having and a demeanor. Now, see, you see from the, he has said, I've heard Mr. Bhunia, what he was trying to say is, that CBI is doing it, this will happen, it is there in the Supreme Court. We all know that. We all know that it is there in the Supreme Court because people of India have protested that hard that Supreme Court suo matter took up the case. It is not that your government went to the Supreme Court. Your government was busy supporting the person who's supporting the rapist, and we do not even know whether he's also involved in that rape or not. Now,
why
secondly,
the agitation of the
Supreme
young
Court
doctors
is, I
have
did not
been
speak when this
snatched by the
gentleman was
political
speaking.
party?
He's an aged man,
Why
and I'm
CPIM
respecting his
and
age, so please
BJP
keep quiet.
have
Keep quiet when I'm
entered into
speaking. I
the
did not speak when you were
agitation?
speaking.
Why?
Shut up and please
The
listen.
No, 1 minute.
From
Let's
the
be
very
civil. No,
threshold.
Priyanka Tibrewal, please mind your language. Let's be
I
civil.
said I am.
No,
so
I
said-
understand
asked him-
the interruption,
I
but
told
let's
him-
be civil,
I
please.
told him-
Let's not
I
cross
told
the
him
line.
to
Let's be
civil.
civil. I understand the sentiment,
him-
but please, let's maintain
So I
decorum.
was being very gentle.
No, he will not
quietly
speak. He will
listening
not
to him.
interrupt,
I
ma'am.
expect the same
I'm
from
giving
him.
you my word. We will not talk over each other. Let's have a civilized debate.
So from the very threshold, when Supreme Court started today's hearing, from the very threshold, they shook TMC, they shook the police, what kind of work they had done. They saw that this investigation, what was their approach, a callous approach, a shoddy investigation. So all this was there. That is the reason that they came to all this, that why this crime scene was altered, why there was a tampering which was done, why it wasn't cordoned, why, what was the timing of the postmortem, why the body was taken for a postmortem when you did not register an unnatural death. So all this was there in question. And after that, they are speaking at length that, we did our best. No, you did not do your best. That is what the court said today.
Okay.
That is the reason the matter is with the CBI. And now also, we fail to understand what is this principle and who is this principle whom the state is trying so hard to protect. The letter of Mamata Banerjee is nothing but just to shift the focus, just to derail whatever is going on.
It is deflection. Let's bring in Mr. Yashovardhan Azad to put in context the fundamental lapses that we are talking about. He's an ex-IPS officer, someone who will put this in context for our viewers so that there is no confusion. Sir.
Yes, as far as the lapses go, Supreme Court has pointed out that the FIR was registered after about 14 hours. I understand the delay in the beginning because you have to do this Marg Panchnama, you have to get those witnesses, etc., and you want to record all those before you put that in the FIR. But then, 14 hours, forensics, of course, moved in, and there are a lot of things to be done. But 14 hours, of course, cannot be explained. That's one. Number two is that I also think that the police commissioner should have been more forthright, and his press conference was very, very disappointing, that he should have said whether the crime scene has been damaged or not been damaged, and you should have an independent auditor who should tell the people that yes, no, the crime thing is safe, and despite the construction which is going on from before or later. So some of these things definitely should have been explained. There are two people who are definitely very, very guilty. One is the principal who said that it was a case of suicide. I think that is sacrilege. And number two, we forget about one gentleman. There is also always a head of security in any institution in medical college, whether he's from the administration or either one of the professors. I mean, these people really deserve a kind of a knock which is really required. And third, the most important thing is, you see, the security and safety. Remember, this is an act by a rogue element. This is not a general situation of, being unsafe. There was one person, and this happens in many places, even in America. A janitor did it in a toddler's school. So therefore, the administration head has to be extremely important. In that respect, I would say that the head of administration failed totally. And in the end, of course, the last thing is, it was sheer bad planning, how the 7,000 mob overwhelmed the entire area. And it was unfortunate that the policemen also got hit, and got hit very, very badly. So these are,
fundamental questions. I just want to add, before I get Mr. Bhunia to answer that, the points that you raised. Mr. Bhunia, the CGI said, why was Sandeep Ghosh appointed as principal of another college after he tendered resignation? Would you like to shed more light on it, sir? Isn't it baffling?
Look, Yes, I cannot deny that Sandeep Ghosh was appointed in a next National Medical College. But he has been removed. He has been removed. Sandeep Ghosh was not officially accused till that time. Only protesting doctors identified his name and protested against him. But when the CBI investigations had been started and they pointed out Sandeep Ghosh to be investigated, then Sandeep Ghosh was removed and he is under investigation, and anything which will come out of the investigation, placed it before the honorable court, the judgment will be accepted by us. No problem to defy that.
Okay, the state has nothing to hide.
Another
Karan
thing,
Verma, come in now.
Doctors, junior doctors.
You've heard the
are
minister, you've
demanding-
heard the arguments in the Supreme Court. What's your take?
You know, Pranesh, for me, the line that sums it up was from Justice Pardiwala when he said, never seen anything like this in 30 years. You know, I've been in a number of debates on this very sensitive matter, and very shamelessly, people from the TMC side and others have resorted to whataboutery, saying, you know, it's happened elsewhere also, it's happened in the past. Today, Justice said it. It's never happened in 30 years. It has never happened, Pranesh, in 30 years that the state puts 21 strong lawyers and that lawyer actually laughs about it in the middle of the proceedings. It has never happened, as Yashovardhanji summed up, that an FIR is filed after post-mortem and the principal, not only does he get promoted right now, just for the knowledge of the Bengal minister, he has been made the OSD in the health ministry right now. It has never happened before, Pranesh, where the sitting chief minister goes on a march against her own self, against her own administration, where she is the health minister, she is the home minister. It has never happened before, Pranesh, where 7,000 people march into the premises and completely botch up the crime area, as CBI today stated in the proceedings. It has never happened that the cyber police is busy issuing notices and ultimatums to anyone who is even tweeting about it. So this is the state of affairs, and Pranesh, we didn't get here in one day, just as Rome wasn't built in one day. This is the Mamta government which talked of Paribartan. And from the first day, it started casual sexism. Oh, it is a love affair gone wrong to a rape. It rationalized every single incident of post-poll violence. It said that the Sandesh Khali is a staged incident. And look where we've reached today. How low this government has stooped today. How shameless this government has become today. I think the Supreme Court today did a stellar job in at least taking them to the cleaners. But alas, they have spoiled the crime scene. And even today, the junior doctors, their counsel has stated in an affidavit before the Supreme Court that we are still facing threats. So all those who are protesting today, they are continuing to face threats. My question here is to the BJP. What are they doing now about it? We are done with the Mamta government. Are they going to issue instructions under Article 352 to the government? Leave aside Article 356, perhaps they don't have the guts to implement President's rules, but at least issue instructions under Article 352, which is a constitutional provision. How long can we trust the Mamta government with this case? And today, even today, people are being given ultimatums, they are being given threats. How does fascism stop? Those who used to cry democracy in danger and fascism, this is what the ugly head of fascism looks like. It is alive, it is kicking in West Bengal.
Sanjay Jha.
Pranesh, given the sensitivity of this entire debate, I will appreciate if I'm not interrupted by the BJP and their supporter here on your panel. And I'm sure you won't either. I will not take very long. The BJP spokesperson used the term inhuman, no denying that what happened in Kolkata was repugnant, reprehensible, and everything that the Supreme Court has said is sacrosanct, and the state government is obligated to respond. But I also want to point out, that this sudden, this crusade of sanctimoniousness that we're hearing from two people on your show is equally disgusting. Because none of them will ever tell you that it took 16 hours to lodge an FIR in the state I live in, where two girls, 4 years old, were subjected to the worst kind of sexual violence. They are giving lectures in terms of democratic protest. Can you imagine, Pranesh? You're a family man too. 2 young kids assaulted. It took 24 hours for them to actually go ahead and put 300 people with an FIR and arrest 40 people. But the people who should have been the perpetrators were not brought to justice pronto. One of the women whose child was affected, a pregnant woman, stood there for hours. And that tells you the state of police apathy. I want to cut to the chase, Pranesh, and tell you 2 things that matter, because we can't go on about the technicalities of the horrific case. We are living in times where we are missing the elephant in the room. 46% of the members of parliament have criminal records. 31% of them, and I'm sure this is across parties.
No, this data is available. I get the point.
I request you not to
Sanjay
interrupt me.
Can I ask you a simple question? On the larger point you made in the first part of your comment about Maharashtra. Last evening, I said the Chief Minister of Maharashtra must answer. The opposition must ask his resignation. Do you think Mr. Shinde should resign? The Deputy Chief Minister, who's also the Home Minister, must resign? Because your anger is justified.
Well, let me answer you, Pranesh. What needs to be done is justice to the people who are affected. And I can tell you the reason why in the city I live in Mumbai, I can tell you that those people who were protesting, you know what the Chief Minister said? This is politically motivated. You think people who live in Mumbai and struggle to make a living have the time to sit together and protest?
I am with you on that, Sanjay Jha. Let's call out the people, Mr. Shinde in Maharashtra and Mamta Banerjee, who blamed Ram and Vam.
Absolutely.
But the reason you will not call for resignation of Mr. Shinde is because then that will put you in a spot, because then you will have to demand the same thing in Bengal that you can't afford to do politically because you're part of India Alliance, Sanjay Jha. That's the problem, you see. So for all the you may be well-intentioned, I don't know.
You're wrong.
But you're stopping short of demanding justice.
Let me answer you. You're making such a presumptuous and almost an allegation at me and my opinion without even hearing me out. What did I say? The issue is not about who resigns, but technically, why don't we have Narendra Modi resign? I want to ask a question. Why doesn't the Prime Minister resign? Because in not allowing justice for Vinesh Fogart and all her wrestlers against Brijbhushan Singh, it encouraged so many people with a sick mind to believe that if Brijbhushan Singh could get away because of political patronage, why can't I? Why don't we ask for Narendra Modi's resignation?
Well, you're justified in asking the resignation. Mr. Yashovardhan wants to come in. Yes, sir.
You know, Pranesh, if you start asking for resignations, every state chief minister will have to resign. Because you have seen at least 6 states have now, only recently in Chhattisgarh there was a rape. Women's safety and security has to be discussed a little more seriously. You know, we have to see that why even the Nirbhay funds have not been utilized, why even simple basic things have not been done, why the women doctors, and I know my relative is working in AIMS, they don't have the basic
but I was only on the larger principal point. On the larger point that Sanjay Jha was making about, you see, justice. I put him in a spot that if you really mean, then let's go the full hog. And the reason why the Congress party is not, the Congress party has, by the way, announced protest in Maharashtra. Praniti Shinde, a member of parliament, said the protesters should have burned down the place. Will they dare say half of what they've said in Maharashtra in Bengal? Because politically, it does not suit them. Mr. Bhunia wanted to come in. Sir.
Yeah. Sir, one of our participants said, it is increasing trend in the rape in West Bengal. But the record of 2022 National Crime Record Bureau, that torture on women and rape, it is in Bengal 1,112, Uttar Pradesh 3,233, Rajasthan 5,408, Odisha 1,463, Maharashtra 2,911.
No, I have the data, sir.
Madhya
But Mr.
Pradesh,
Bhunia, the point is that the
3,046.
state chief ministers in the
Can you
states you are
justify-
mentioning will
can
have to
you
answer for the
justify
law and
that
order
claim?
there. I can't ask
Bengal-
Yogi Adityanath to answer
Bengal
for
is falsely-
the Arjitar.
Bengal is falsely condemned. And
Bengal, the
accused.
Supreme Court, you are
I
accusing the
don't
Supreme
agree
Court
with
of
the
falsely
arguments of my
condemning Bengal
friend
by questioning
who
the
has
lapses by the
participated.
state
No,
police.
This is absolutely a false campaign.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Sanjay Jha, you were saying Mr. Shinde believes this is a conspiracy. The minister is echoing the same sentiment. We've heard the Ram and Vam already. Priyanka Tibrewal, 30 seconds. We'll have to move on.
1 minute. Pranesh, here is the point. The top 4 states out of the 5 are BJP-ruled states with the maximum sexual violence against women. Let's face it.
Okay. Mr. Tibrewal.
Yes, so the minister, we heard the minister speaking about the data which he was holding in his hands, but not to forget that Bengal does not agree to send the accounts for the money which they are getting from the center. Similarly, they do not send the data of crime also to the NCRB. But apart from that, please do not go to 22 and 23. The current month's data, August, only this month there have been 10 rapes in West Bengal. That is the data.
Okay, let's move on. Karan, we'll have to move on, for want of time to the other debate. Mr. Bhunia, we're completely out of time. I appreciate you joining us, sir. We started with you and, asked you a few questions. You responded. Let's see how the viewers judge what you said. Let's move on.